At the outset, I must say that this recording is almost 2 weeks later than what I had planned. It was planned on the day Cognizant came out with their numbers, but nonetheless, got delayed, and here it goes right now. The question that we're trying to address in this episode of Tech at Work is, why is Cognizant underperforming its peers? Now, most IT companies have held on to or improved their guidance in terms of revenues for this year. However, Cognizant has lowered its revenue guidance yet again. Cognizant is now guiding for a revenue growth of 7% for calendar year 2022, lower than the 8.5% to 9.5% it told analysts 3 months ago, and much lower than the 9 to 11% growth that it guided at the beginning of the year. In comparison, Infosys upgraded the lower end of its FY23 constant currency revenue guidance to 15 to 16% versus 14 to 16% earlier, while HCLTech is now guiding for FY23 constant currency revenue growth of 13.5 to 14.5% versus 12 to 14% earlier. Bullish, right, from Infy as well as HCLTech? While most IT companies listed in India like TCS, Infy, HCLTech may face growth pangs later down the years as macros continue to remain uncertain and technology is typically a lag industry. But the picture today in terms of numbers is that Cognizant is lagging peers quite significantly, and it has been for the last couple of years, and the question is why? Now, one of the reasons cited by Cognizant when it downgraded its guidance is its inability to staff projects in North America. As Nirmal Bang in its report said, that while staffing on-site has been a challenge for all Tier 1 peers, leading to higher subcontractor costs, none of them ever indicated a loss in business revenue due to this. And this could be a Cognizant-specific issue. If you remember, during the peak of COVID, Cognizant had laid off thousands of employees. In one particular quarter, the April to June 2020 quarter, its headcount declined by more than 10,000 employees. Now, this wasn't the case with peers. TCS has not seen a single quarter of a net headcount decline, even during the peak of the pandemic or the onset. Cognizant also suffered with a spate of top-level exits since Brian Humphrey took over in 2019. 2 years back, India chairman as well as managing director Ramakumar Ramamurthy and the head of global delivery Pradeep Shilge had put in their papers after more than serving the company for 2 decades. And apart from that, there have been a bunch of VP as well as senior VP resignations. One could say that Brian Humphrey has not been able to hold on to his ship together as well as Salil Parekh has done in the case of Infosys. And this has led to the voluntary attrition for Cognizant to spike from 10 to 15% in 2020 to around 30% in the last 2 quarters. So part of the weakness is due to fulfillment challenges in the North America market, partly because of the company's own actions like the firing, etc., and the current reality of the labor market tightness. And then, of course, one could also blame the deteriorating macros, which have led to slower deal wins for the company. But the way this has hurt Cognizant over peers is that Cognizant has started to lose market share in the key financial services vertical. Now, BFSI, banking, financial services and insurance, is a very large vertical for all companies. It contributes anywhere between 30 to 35% of its overall revenues. Now, 3 years back, Cognizant's BFSI revenues were 40% more than Infosys, and that gap has dwindled down to just 9% in the latest quarter. The ceding of wallet share in the BFSI sector has been there for a while. But this quarter, it appears that healthcare too has grown slower than the industry, sparking worries that has the company started to lose market share in the healthcare vertical too. And this leads me to highlight how quickly Infosys is closing in on the ranks of Cognizant in terms of size. Now, as Kotak points out, Infosys' quarterly revenue run rate is $4.55 billion. This is just $300 million less than that of Cognizant's quarterly run rate. This gap was $1.2 billion nearly 4 years ago. Cognizant's headcount at 345,000 employees is also 4,000 short of Cognizant. Kotak says they would not be surprised if Infosys reclaims revenue leadership over Cognizant in the coming quarters. CEO Brian Humphreys had embarked on a transformation journey when he joined in 2019 to get back to peer matching growth. But this appears to still be a work in progress. The company will need to address its core challenge of elevated employee attrition. All eyes will also be on former Infosys president Ravi Kumar, who joins on the 16th of January 2023 to lead Cognizant's America market, which accounts for 70% of its total annual revenues. Can the two work their magic on Cognizant?